Hey kids, it's me again, the Woodlands Uncensored. Yes, this is going to be kind of fun. It's going to be quick, but I want to introduce you to somebody. Uh, and here's a story. First of all, I'm going to be in Europe for 2 weeks, and so you won't hear from me for a while. You lucky people, you. Anyway, here's the story that we have here today. We're going to be talking about. Oh, by the way, my disclaimer is first, this is not my opinion. This story is not my opinion. Or maybe it is, but I'll let you know that. Okay. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the lazy river in Texas, Fiasco. And this is going to be thanks to a gentleman named Bruce Tuff. And we'll talk to you a little bit about Bruce and what he does here, and what he has to say about this. To me, is absolutely fascinating. First, let me introduce you to Bruce. Okay, Bruce is an attorney, has a law practice here in the Woodlands. He's from a Woodlands family that does a lot of community service. He has done quite a bit of community service himself. He was the first director of the Township from, I think, 2010 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, you can find all that on his website. But and let's talk a little bit about his website and what he does. But he is he's an attorney that I don't even know what he specializes in. But something that he has here. Let me put on my glasses so I can read it. Something he has here that I think is fascinating, and that is, he says, "Do not mess with me or any of my clients." Well, that's the kind of attitude I like with lawyers, and I've had to deal with lawyers quite a bit in my life, in my past life, not in my present life, thank goodness. Anyway, so here's what the problem is, according to Bruce. So anyway, it's the Woodlands has been taxing us, well, ad infinitum, but have been overtaxing us for about the past, I would say, 10 years, no, about 8 years, something like that. And they were taxing us and put it into a slush fund for the, I call it a slush fund. They're an investment fund. I don't care what you call it. But anyway, for incorporation. And because there was a certain group of the directors that wanted this to become a city and not a township anymore. That's for another day. But the board ultimately elected to increase the township's capital reserves and spending, rather than give I think it's 20 million. It's the next slide. $20+ million back to the people, which is rightfully ours. So anyway, Bruce has put together a letter, and I'm going to let you follow the bouncing ball on this letter here. First, the taxpayers, we have been overtaxed by at least $20 million, and it was called the incorporation reserve, all right, for whatever good that is. And when we when incorporation was, this is number 2, we rejected by about 70% margin. Voters rejected incorporation in 2021, not 1921. Where am I located? In 2021. And that money was rightfully ours in the reserve, but it's been eaten up. Well, about $3 million have been eaten up due to inflation. I think everyone out there knows what's going on with inflation, and so the same thing is true with our money as it sits in Woodlands Reserve. So item 4 in Bruce's letter, the township budget shows we have plenty of capital reserves and a huge revenue growth. The taxpayers, according to Bruce, they are overtaxed, and that would be me and you, overtaxed. So the taxpayers, we demand the rebate of our money in form of lower taxes of that incorporation reserve. Are we going to get it? Let's see here. What's going to happen here? This, once again, straight out of Bruce's letter, the reserve rebate, the town board Township Board refused to rebate the $20.8 million reserve they were sequestered to pay for incorporation. So what did they do with it? Let's find out. Anyway, they won't give it back to us, but what are they going to do with it? They decided to relocate the incorporation reserves to fund a future fire station, which is great, park upgrade, and we have some of the best parks in Texas, you know that, but they want to include the best lazy river in Texas. You got to be kidding me. All right. They obviously do not know one thing, and that is, hang on, the best lazy river. Yeah. Don't we already have a lazy river in the Woodlands? Is there not one here? Well, as I was going over this with my grandson, who's at University of Texas, he said, this Rob Fleming Park Aquatic Center, their big thing is a lazy river. So we have a lazy river here in the Woodlands. Did you not know that? Have you ever been in the park? I've never been there. I have never been there. I'll be honest with you. By the way, with regard to Mr. Tuff, I shook his hand one time for about 4 seconds to introduce myself. And that's the only way. That's as much as I know of Mr. Tuff. Okay, who is doing this to us? Well, this is the township that's doing this. And these are your township board members presently. We're voting some of them out and put some of them in. So the leader of the pack here is what Bruce calls the incorporation squad. Is a gentleman named Gordy Bunch. Never met him, never talked to him, don't know him from Adam. But I hear good things about Gordy and I hear bad things about Gordy. With regards to incorporation, I pretty much hear nothing but bad things about him, but that's just the people I deal with. So the incorporation squad is the one that's taking our money and putting it into, I'm going to call it the lazy river. And why are they doing it? Who the hell knows? I don't know. In fact, they don't even talk about it. Fire station, good. Lazy river, bad. That's as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. It's also Bruce Tuff's opinion. So what do we really want to do? What to do? And I, after reading this letter, and I mean, I've read it a number of times. It's easy breezy. You vote a new township director, vote in new township directors. Ain't rocket science. We get people who are going to take care of our money and not just use it for their own. I don't know what their personal interest would be. I have no idea. Some of them may have kids. That's great. But we already have a lazy river. Give me a break. Okay, who are these people? This is per Mr. Hang on one second. Yay. This is per a friend of mine, Dick Franks. I've known Dick for quite a while. Great guy. I love him. He is running for township director. He's got all kind of experience. More on that to come if he chooses to do so. The next person is going to be a fellow. I have met him, talked to him. Nice guy. Know nothing more than that. You might be able to find some more about it by a guy named Brad Bailey, and I think you'll enjoy Brad if he does get in. And that's Brad Bailey. And this lady, I have met her. She was with Memorial Hermann, I think, or maybe she still is. I'm not sure. Linda Nelson, not to be confused with Jason Nelson. And they got so many Nelsons running around, but Linda Nelson. This is another person that Bruce is talking about basically putting in. And the last but not least is a guy named Kyle Watson. Never met Kyle, wouldn't know him. But I hear some good things about him. I hear that I just hear good things about him. And these, all four of these people are anti-incorporation. So that's just about going to wrap it up from Bruce's letter. And I certainly do appreciate what he has done for us. So if you get a chance, get a copy of his letter. I'm sure that he'll be happy to share it with you. This is the last part of it right here. You can see the last part of the letter where he does recommend these four people. And pretty much that's going to be it. And I hope you learned something from this, because I sure as heck did. And y'all have a great day. See you on the flip side of Europe.